back to Fearless Live.
Hey.
I'm Rose.
I'm Stuart.
I'm Lauren.
And it's so awesome to hang out with you guys tonight. It's going to be a really great night. Boom. So Stuart,
as per usual, we all have lag, so we will try talk to you. My phone's down here, but there'll be lag.
Exactly, but we'll totally make it work. So, Lauren, do you want to tell us a little bit about what is coming up tonight?
So tonight we will have a game as usual. I think Fearless might be able to bring it again this week.
I don't know, I reckon this is going to be too tough for them.
Okay, but do we set the precedent now that if Fearless win, it is double forfeit?
I reckon we leave that up to Fearless, because I faced one forfeit and I don't want to have to face another, really.
I'm okay with this, actually. I'm quite so you have to first, because you need to get involved in this. We need to know because as the games master today, I'm not involved. So if you win the game, do Rose and Lauren both have to do the forfeit?
Put it in the comments.
Whoever loses out of the pair of them.
Or if just Rose, as the loser, wants to do forfeit.
Mate, I'm not going to lose. I'm going to smash this game. It's going to be awesome. So, Stuart, why don't you tell us about the game that we're about to play?
Yeah, so this game was based off of basically a meme that I saw once. So, if you've ever heard of movie plots explained badly, where someone gets a whole film and boils it down to one awful sentence, that's what we are doing. So I have written down here a solid 12 movie titles, not titles, but movies, which are poorly explained, and whoever guesses what the movie is first wins. Also, Rachel has already confirmed saying, yes, we should definitely use doubles, or double forfeits if Phyllis wins.
No, it's fine, but, you know, I'm going to win, Lauren's going to lose.
And Fearless can do the forfeit. Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool.
We will do tiebreaker rounds because I'm not about that life.
Okay, so Stuart, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I think let's start with a practice round.
Okay.
We'll kind of kick it in nice and gently because these will get progressively a lot harder. So, number 1, ready? The entire cast do the ice bucket challenge.
Titanic.
Yes.
Dang! You're on it.
Yeah. That is
harsh.
Also, what are you talking about? Another one? Okay, we'll do like 3 practice rounds.
Okay, I was like, are we playing yet?
No, not just yet.
Megan got Titanic too.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, Megan!
Second one. A boy spends 7 years being the third wheel.
Harry Potter!
Yeah,
Yes!
Harry Potter is there. This is really tricky because of the lag. I'm trying to see does anyone get it at the same time as I see you react.
Are you having this weird side eye where I'm looking at, my tablet where I've got all the comments? I'm going to move that. Continue.
And first one. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let's start it actually now. Let's actually go.
Okay, wait. If we're going to start for reals, then I think we need the scoreboard. Boom. There is a scoreboard.
I will take your word for it. So, number 1 is starting relatively simple. Kind of. Okay. Kid comes out of the closet.
Narnia.
Yeah.
Oh, dang!
Okay, so that is 1 point to Lauren. Okay. Let me find another one. I have a whole list here. So, next one. So, young girl talks to furniture and then marries her kidnapper.
Beauty and the Beast!
Yep, Beauty and the Beast was. Yep.
I'm not going to lose this!
I don't know. I'm jamming the evil. Okay.
Yes, Rachel! Rachel got Beauty and the Beast. Yes, Megan! These guys are on my wavelength.
Oh, actually, I think Rachel got this before you.
No?
I think Rachel got this before you. Oh, didn't have time to write it all. I'm fairly sure, judging by reaction, I reckon I'm going to give that to Rachel.
You're going to deduct my point?
Yeah, I'm deducting your point.
Wow.
I'm allowed to do that.
Rachel says yes, I did.
No, come on, Fearless, have my back.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, next one.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, where should I go next? Okay, this one is very, very, very smart. A series of naps.
Sleeping Beauty?
No,
Ooh.
just a series of naps. I was a big fan of this one, I won't lie. Quite enjoyed the film too. It's a solid film.
Okay. Oh, Inception!
Yes,
Yes!
it was Inception.
Oh, yes! Oh, Eleanor just...
Eleanor hands down beat you for that.
What?
Yeah, no, because I'm waiting to see you go, ooh, and Eleanor,
Oh!
hands down beat you.
Oh!
Just guessed it.
Dang!
Sorry, Eleanor had that. That was well played, Eleanor. That was fast. Okay, next one. So that's the second point to Fearless. Okay. You ready? Okay. Girl pretends to be a man to be taken seriously.
Mulan.
Yes.
I was gonna say Mulan!
That was so fast, Laurie.
How am I on zero?
Speed on that.
Rosie, you need to hurry up.
Eleanor studies film studies. So I expect every answer right, Eleanor.
That's true. Oh wait, Milan. I'm just gonna...
It's right, spell check is not a thing in this game.
No, I'm gonna have to give this one to Laurie because Laurie got that fast. Okay. So this one is a little bit more of a stretch, so we're gonna bide our time with this one. A guy learns to fall in love with a girl without an Instagram filter.
Little Mermaid?
No, clever. It's like you're on the right lines of thinking, but it's not that one.
Guy falls in love with a girl without her Instagram filter.
Yes.
Oh, this is hard.
I know. I like the silence. Thank you. Alright, so comment section anyway with this one, yeah.
No.
No? Oh, the comment section's...
Oh!
This is too tricky.
You're right.
Correct. Yes, Jeff, 3. Yes.
Oh! Dang! That was...
Shrek.
Do you know what? I'm not even mad. Fearless, get that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I supposed to. Yeah, Jeffrey's in on this. Okay. Right. How many do we have? We have. Is it 3-2?
Yes. 0. 3-2-0.
All right. Next one.
Okay.
A talking frog convinces son to kill his dad. Yes, Jeffrey, you should be proud of yourself by the way. Yeah.
A talking frog.
Talking frog convinces son to kill his dad. I found this one way too funny. Flushed away. No. I like the talking frog part. Flushed away.
I don't think I've never seen flushed away. Oh, I'm gonna be kicking myself, aren't I?
Not flushed away. No. Okay. No. Okay. No.
Anyone in Fearless?
No.
Ooh. Is this just a no-go? Is no one gonna get this
Come
one?
on, someone's gotta get it. Go one more time.
Okay, so a talking frog convinces son to kill his dad.
Ain't a clue, mate.
No. Okay, fair enough. Well, maybe I won't tell you.
Oh!
Okay. Next one. Okay. There was Star Wars when Yoda convinces Luke to kill Darth Vader.
I've never seen Star Wars.
What?
Guys.
Oh, Megan said Star Wars!
Hey!
Okay, I was probably late, but well done. There's another point for Fearless because that was before I explained it.
Oh. Okay, Fearless is just absolutely bossing it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rose, but you are doing this forfeit by the looks of it. Okay,
No,
another one I legitimately laughed at.
Okay.
Perfectly pleasant society turns to chaos with the introduction of a female. This was just clever. I like this one.
Hunger Games?
No. But you were close.
Oh! A Maze Runner!
Yeah, Maze Runner.
Yes!
Yeah, because
Oh, Ian guessed Hunger Games too.
Oh, wait!
You said Maze Runner, but did...
No! Mika got me before me!
Mika got this before you.
No!
Yeah, Mika did.
She did! Oh, no, Lauren got on 25. Whew.
Right.
No! Oh!
Okay, let's go supply.
I'm so proud of that!
Against Rose. And Epic to do the part thing.
Okay, we've got a few more to go. Just because I'm really enjoying myself, so I thought, why not we can see this through to the end.
Yes!
Yeah. Okay, so this one is a bit of a stretch again, but I hope you bear with me. So, after the death of her parents, a young socialite causes millions of dollars of damage and property.
Frozen?
Yes!
Nice!
That was fast.
How am I on 0?
Okay,
I
maybe.
was like, which films does she cause a lot of damage and the parents have died?
Yeah. So, okay, maybe. I've only got 1, 2, 3. I've only got 4 left.
So there's hope! If I get them all!
Get a point in 4 more.
If I win all of them, then Lauren does a forfeit.
Well, that's true, actually. If you can get at least 3 of these, you don't have to do the forfeit. So we will start at easiest. A love triangle between an 18-year-old girl and a 100-year-old guy.
Twilight.
So what?
Twilight.
Yeah, Twilight. Yeah. Okay.
Okay!
Really determined.
My 8, this is my... I'm not on 11, I wish. I'm on my A game, okay.
Okay. Ready? Next one.
Yes.
Again, easier. Depressed, widowed father teams up with a mentally challenged woman to find his missing son.
Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Sorry, Rose got that one first.
Oh,
Finding Nemo.
Fearless, please help me out here. Just to get Rose to do this one.
Wait. Lauren and Rose are even.
No, we're not.
This. Huh?
Lauren's on 3, I'm on 2.
Oh, wait, I missed that. I thought Lauren was on 2. Forget it. We're not on even. Okay. Wait. Eleanor said Nemo.
But...
She said it before you. I think she said it before you.
No.
Eleanor said she was typing before. I don't think that counts, Eleanor.
But on the other
Don't
hand,
take this away from me!
So I feel this really want to help me out.
yeah, but on the other hand, you only said Nemo. Rose had the full title. So despite saying
Yes, Ian's got my back.
we're right, but we are going to give this one to Rose. Rose did say the full title. Okay.
Okay, right, I need to win this one.
No, next one. Ready? We are going to. I can only type so fast. That's fine. Type faster. We can do this. Please. Next one. Cancer survivor never loses his sense of humor.
Fault in Our Stars?
No. Oh, clever.
Aww.
I mean, technically wrong, but it was not the one I was thinking of.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh.
no.
No.
Eleanor said Deadpool.
Deadpool. Yes, Eleanor.
Actually!
Deadpool. Okay. Now, last one. And debatably the hardest I have on the list. Just because I have never looked at this film in this way before.
One question though. So I'm on 2, Lauren's on 3. If I get this,
You both have to do it.
we both have to do a 4. So it's either way I'm either way I'm stuck. Am I going to bring Lauren down with me?
Help me out.
This is it. This based off of what happens now. Either Lauren and Rose, or just Rose is doing it. So.
Okay.
Paranoid billionaire afraid of an immigrant. That's it. That's the only hint I have. Paranoid billionaire afraid of an immigrant. Sheer signs of cogs turning. The faces of I have no idea. This is a bit where I'm now glancing to see where's the chat at with this.
Crazy Rich Asians?
No.
Okay, this is clearly obviously obscure. For some reason I forgot, even though I know it's not it, I've got a series of unfortunate events in my head. Great movie.
Really not it.
Paranoid billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
Afraid of an immigrant?
Yep, afraid of an immigrant. Okay, so far there's no guesses in the chat either, so what I would do, so you have small hint.
Oh?
Oh,
Me
Iron
can
Man. No, it's not Iron Man. But the hint, Iron Man's not that far off.
Spider-Man, Batman.
No. I'm also expecting the full title here. You can't just
Avengers Endgame.
superheroes. No.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
No. Who's a billionaire in Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't know! I am! I know.
Iron Man's not in Guardians of the Galaxy. Captain America, no. Paranoid billionaire. Afraid of...
Captain America.
No.
Superman.
No. Batman vs Superman. Yes, Debbie! There we go.
No!
You said both Batman and Superman, but not the one film where a paranoid billionaire is afraid of the immigrant alien.
Never seen it.
That's not an
Me
excuse.
neither.
I mean, it definitely is, but that's not the point. What I'm saying.
Thanks, Demi, for sending me.
Okay, so pretending to look at the scores because that's just my ceiling. We've got Fearless absolutely smashed it once again this week with 7.
I know.
Lauren did alright with 3, and I guess I lost with 2. But yeah, you know, we had fun. Okay, so I guess I'm doing the forfeit this week. Great.
If anyone has any forfeit ideas, drop them in the comments. We've got forfeit one.
Exactly. What TikTok do you want me to do this week? We seem to be on a bit of a TikTok theme. Should we get TikTok?
We're not that cool.
I know. We can try. Okay, sweet. So,
Should I smoothly segue this into what we're talking about today?
yeah.
Neat. Another TikTok dance, yes. Okay, so this week, as we have mentioned before, we're kind of starting to begin into our Q&A. So we got a handful of questions in already. So for actually, rather than just doing like a single Q&A, why not have a couple? So what we're doing is we're breaking them into kind of clumps of questions that we can deal with one at a time. So today we have 2 questions, only 2 because we only have time for 2, and because it means that you can have fun with just 2.
Yep.
The first one is, do relationships have to be monogamous? And also, following that, do they have to be Christian? So it probably makes sense just to tackle one at a time. So let me start with, do relationships have to be monogamous? And monogamous, for those of you who don't know, is just 2 people.
Amorous.
Well, that's maybe polyamorous is when you kind of date. It's like an open relationship, dating multiple people at once. So does it have to be just 2 people?
So for me, my first instinct is like, yes. But actually, as we were kind of going through our questions and picking the ones for tonight, I was like, yes. But why? Actually, it's a good question because I was like, actually, there are loads of accounts in the Bible of kind of a relationship between 2 people. But also in the Old Testament, there are quite a few people who had multiple wives. So actually, I was like, it's a good question. So Lauren, do you want to kind of share some of your thoughts?
Yeah, so I was kind of the same in that, like, yeah, this is my answer. And then was like, is it? And then kind of unpackaging that, I was a bit like, oh, but like, some people would say kind of like, oh, but I could share my love. Like, I can share my love in the same way. But then it kind of comes down to like, what kind of love are you sharing? Do you want to kind of give everything to one person? Does it have to be that you sharing your love looks like that? Or whether it looks like you loving a best friend and someone loving a romantic relationship? Like, I love my mum and I love my best friend, but they're like different kinds of love, and I still equally love them, just in like different kind of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I wish I went away and researched this more, but I think like this is kind of one of those weird moments where actually like English language fails us a little bit, because we talk about the way that we love kind of, like with the way that I love Rose, and the way that I love Scott, my brother, or my parents, or the way that I love food. And suddenly we have the word love, which is for each one of those different things, or the way that God loves us. But then every single one of those is a very different kind of love. Like the way that I love Rose is not the way that I love Scott. I remember, I think it's in Greek that they had multiple words for different kinds of love. Like actually there's a word for brotherly love. There's a word for God's unconditional love. There's a word for kind of romantic, lustful love, of actually they're really attractive. I would love to date them. Like that sort of thing. That there's different kinds of loves. And I think, I agree. Like actually the idea that it's kind of, you can have kind of different relationships of like actually just a brotherly love, just a romantic love. But I think for me, I would keep those separate.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think quite when people kind of talk about having kind of like open relationships or kind of relationships with multiple people, one of the big arguments can be that like, oh, I have enough love for everybody, like I've got enough love for both of them. And actually I think this really made me think about what we were talking about a little bit last week of actually, is it about what you can get or is it about what you can give? And actually, like, again, like you said, there are different kinds of love. I think we have the capacity to love multiple people, but I think in that romantic way, actually, I know for me, I would want all of my capacity to love in a romantic sense to go to you, because I want to give you my all. I want to give you kind of everything. So actually, I couldn't imagine the idea of trying to split that between you and someone else, or between multiple people. So Lauren, what do you think?
I was kind of thinking the same. So, like, my kind of, like, initial reaction was like, but don't you get, like, jealous if there's, like, someone else? And it's kind of that whole, like, yeah, you could try and give your love, but then also would you want half of someone's love? Or, like, part of someone's love? Just out of whether you'd want them to give all to you, as well as you giving all to them? And kind of how that works amongst that.
Yeah. No, definitely.
I think, like, Rose, you were talking a bit about it earlier, because, like, Tim, you brought up the same thing, and also thank you, Jeffrey, is it, like, agape? How do you pronounce it?
Agape.
Agape, thank you. Or, like, that's what, like, Greek word for, like, the strongest of, like, the way that God loves us. And also, Tim, you were talking about, like, that Bible verse where two become one, and, like, not three or four. I think, Rose, you were talking about this earlier when we kind of had this ahead of time, just so we can actually gather our thoughts. Did you want to kind of, because you put it so beautifully last time, do you want to try again?
Yeah, of course. So, I think like the verse that Tim was talking about is in Matthew. It's in a bunch of places, but actually one place I'm gonna go for is Matthew 19 verse 5, and it says, "Man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." And so it's this idea of actually kind of two people coming together as one, and actually. I think, from last week, talking around this idea of actually giving your all, but also I think with this idea of actually God paints this picture of two people coming together to build each other, to make each other stronger. And actually, my understanding of the Bible, actually my experience has been actually when you kind of take kind of God's pattern for relationships, actually you can live your best life. And actually I love that, and I think that actually having a relationship with just one other person, a romantic relationship, is kind of actually gives you that best quality relationship. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of living your best life, let's go on to a slightly harder one. Like, I remember wanting to know this when I was in youth. There were so many questions around this. Does the person you have to date, do they have to be Christian? Go.
So, like, from personal experience of me having, like, dated guys who are both non-Christian and Christians, I just think it's so much better in that you're able to have a lot, like, deeper, meaningful kind of conversations and kind of just understanding of one another. And that you're kind of able to show them all of your life. In that Christians will be the people who are at church with you or kind of praying alongside you and encouraging you if you need it. But also, like, a non-Christian couldn't always give me that as in the same way that Christians can.
So it's kind of like the idea that actually you get to share your whole life with someone in kind of all parts of it. It's not kind of a fear of trying to hold back anything, or maybe don't want to talk around my faith too much because they won't get it, but actually you get to share all of it with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if faith's such a big kind of part of your life, or even if you guys, like, if there's something else that's a massive part of your life, you wouldn't intentionally kind of exclude that big part of your life from someone you cared about.
No, totally. I think with that, for me, like with that question, do they have to be a Christian? And I love that actually the comments are already blowing up with kind of the same sort of thoughts that I have. Is actually, I don't think it's as easy as saying as a hard and fast no, or a hard and fast yes, because actually I think for me, I made the decision that I want to be dating a Christian, and obviously I'm now getting married to one. But yeah, I've got a similar experience to Lauren. I've dated both Christians and non-Christians. But the reason why I made the decision myself to actually I want to be dating Christians is because actually for me my faith is such a huge part of my life, and kind of like Lauren said, is that actually if it's something that means so much to me, when I've got someone coming into my life as kind of as a boyfriend or as a partner, actually I want to be able to share the most important thing to me with them. Like another kind of example is I really love board games, and actually I love the fact that Stuart really likes them as well, and actually that's an interest that we can share. That actually when I get really excited about a game that I see, I love being able to tell Stuart about it. But also again with my faith, I love the fact that when I read something really exciting in the Bible, or maybe when I'm really kind of struggling with something, that actually I can go to Stuart and actually we can talk about it together, and he can get excited and understand it with me. And I think actually and I think also about kind of your values. They're actually, for me, actually going to church is a non-negotiable. I absolutely love being there on a Sunday. I love volunteering. That's where my closest friends are. And I love the fact that because actually me and Stuart both are Christians and both decide that church is a priority, I never have to question whether Stuart's going to be like, oh, well, do you want to have a date day on Sunday instead? Like, no, we're both going to be there together doing what we love. So yeah, so for me, that's kind of really important.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's tricky because like a lot of the Bible, when it says about kind of do this, do that, it can sometimes feel quite archaic. And like I suppose that's a very fancy word that I use, or just like when things are very old-fashioned, it surely doesn't matter. Like if it's love, it's love. And I think often we can kind of forget how powerful our feelings are. Like when we kind of like someone that isn't a Christian, be like, actually, if it's love, then like it's fine. But I think often when God asks us stuff in the Bible, it's worth kind of looking into it as to, well, maybe why does he say this? Why does it say that you should date other Christians? So there's this one verse, because I remember when I was a teenager thinking the same things. There was a verse that I went away and found. It was I have a whole Bible with me for once. 2 Corinthians 6:14. And it says, do not be yoked together with unbelievers. And I remember my leaders preaching this verse at me. And it's like, great, what does yoked mean? And it's like, it was such an old-fashioned way of saying to not date a non-Christian. So then when they explained it better, a yoke, because like Jesus back in the day, he would constantly use kind of illustrations which would make sense to the people of the time. So he would talk about sailing, he would talk about farming, he would talk about growing trees as ways of getting blessing. Nowadays he'd probably come in and he'd talk about eat all the time or Minecraft, I don't know. But what yoke was the idea of when a farmer, he would get 2 ox and he would put what's called a yoke between them. It was like basically this bit of wood, and then that would be attached to a plow. And as those 2 ox moved forward, they could now plow the field together. But if it was unequally yoked, one of the ox is stronger than the other. So it'll be pulling it and it'll be completely going in every other direction because one of the ox actually just can't keep up. And then they explain it in a much more realistic way that I can now understand, is actually about what if I was to date someone who's not a Christian, it would be like me standing on a chair and I would be trying to pull them up onto the chair. It's not impossible. It's not like this has never happened before. It's not saying that a Christian has never dated a non-Christian and they actually became a Christian. That's not saying it's never happened. But actually, it's really, really difficult to pull someone up onto a chair. And it's really easy to be pulled off of it. Like when Rose was talking about with boundaries of saying, like, actually, you know what, we never have a date night on Sunday. If I was dating a non-Christian, I'd be like, oh, I'll do it one time. And then it would slowly slip. And eventually, actually, how long would it take before I stopped coming to church? As opposed to, and this sounds like a hard rule of like, well, definitely don't do it. But actually, think about what the opposite is. Of like, actually, what if they were join together? What if they would go in the same direction? Actually means you can live your best life. It means that God would add blessing to it. Like I actually don't think I could sit here knowing that a miracle happened to me and have my spine completely healed and sit here without pain if actually I wasn't in a relationship with Rose specifically, of someone who is equally, someone who equally was believing that this would happen to me and actually was monumental in that blessing, that kind of miracle which happened to me. If I was dating a non-Christian, it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing, but actually I couldn't live in a miracle like I do today. I couldn't live my best life I do now.
No, absolutely. And I think it's important to acknowledge that actually we are not saying that like non-Christians are bad. They're not. Actually, I've got some amazing friends who aren't Christians. They are lovely people. But actually, again, it's like Stuart saying, like, it's that best life. That actually, if kind of faith is something that's important to you, and like for me and Stuart, that it looks like going to church regularly and volunteering. Actually, it might not be the same for you. It might just be actually, you do like going to church, or perhaps, you do read the Bible occasionally and find it interesting, or perhaps you just like to pray. Actually, it doesn't have to be kind of this kind of all or nothing kind of huge thing. But actually, if you're like, do you know what, faith is a part of who I am, it's something that I'm interested in, it's important to, I think, have someone who is on that same level, someone who can understand and who can understand it and can do that journey with you. And I think that's where you kind of get that best life and you kind of get that real blessing. Because I know for me, I absolutely love doing my faith life with Stuart, and I couldn't imagine doing that again with someone who isn't a believer. So whilst I don't think it's a hard and fast rule of you have to date another Christian, but actually I think there's really good reasons why that's recommended, and I personally think that actually it's the way to live your best life. But I think it's important to see it not as a rule that you have to follow and that you're in trouble if you don't, but actually it's the best option. And I found actually with a lot of these kind of rules in the Bible, it's so important to look at why it says those things. Because I think it's so easy to be like, oh, that's a rule and I'm in trouble and God will love me less if I don't do these things. And actually that's just not true. God loves you more than you can know, no matter whether you kind of follow the Bible to the letter or whether you completely ignore it. That will never change how much God loves you and how incredible you are. But when you take a look at kind of what God says and the way to live your life, actually, and start to understand why he says it, it's because it ultimately gives you that best life. Now, whilst it might not always feel like that in the moment, when you're looking at that really pretty boy across the classroom who isn't a Christian, like, oh, but he's funny and we got on so well, and no, he's really cute. Actually, in that moment, it might not feel like, waiting for the right person who shares that faith is your best life. But the great thing about God is he doesn't just see you in that moment, he sees your whole life. And actually he can see down the line, he can see where that's going to take you. And actually I'm grateful that me and Stuart been together for a few years now, and actually I've started to see the evidence of actually what God saw when actually I waited and to date Stuart. So I think, it's not a hard and fast rule, but it really will give you your best life.
Yeah. So Ellen has also just put in the comments, respect is needed. And I just kind of wanted to come through with, so I've not been a Christian for like my whole life. I wasn't brought up a Christian or anything. But in terms of like, not everyone probably who's watching this is a Christian. In that, so one of the big things that I was thinking about was like respect and kind of other little like boundaries that everyone has in their life. And kind of that whole thing of like choosing someone who could want the best life with you. Yeah. That doesn't always have to be kind of someone who goes to church. If you're not a person who goes to church all the time, if you want to try that and find someone who goes to church too, that's great. Yeah. But if you also like have never thought about that, even finding people who are kind of like the same lifestyle choices as you, someone who kind of likes the same things as you, someone who has like similar taste in like games and music and films, and someone who say like has respect or cares about their family as much as you do. Yeah. Just finding those patterns of people who are running the same kind of pace as you in life. Yeah. Is just great advice in general.
No, 100%.
I don't think I have anything which could like possibly have wrapped up better than you two did at the end there. So I think what we'll do, because it's now we've ran over, but I had a lot of fun anyway. So what we're gonna do is we'll probably wrap it up there because we'll pray for you as usual. But I know I really enjoyed today. I thought it was a really cool conversation. I really appreciated actually you guys chiming in, that we got to kind of have a little bit back and forth. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I would say is genuinely go away and read it for yourself. I think a lot of us we had leaders who told us things, but actually forming your own relationship with God changes everything.
Yeah.
Having your own revelation about what it says and why it's important to you will mean far more than any of us telling you what it says and why it's important to us.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing I would say is actually, even if you disagree, even if you 100% agree, go find your own reasons.
Yeah.
And then we could talk. I'd love to have that conversation.
Yeah.
If you do find a verse and you're still a bit like, but I don't get it. They've said this, but this verse says this. Just message one of us or message the Fearless page.
We had a lot of fun at reading Bible verses out of context.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, 100%.
Definitely. But I think just before we pray, actually... we've been talking a lot about God tonight, and actually I really recognise that not everyone on this stream would necessarily say that they are a Christian or that they believe what we believe. And first of all, that's totally okay. You do not need to believe what we believe in order to belong in our Fearless family. However, actually, if you have been sitting here tonight and be like, do you know what? I want to know a bit more about this God guy. Actually, do you know what? I want to have a relationship with someone who actually wants this best life for me. We've got a short video for you. So if that's you, if you're kind of thinking about maybe this God thing, or maybe one day, once you used to call yourself a Christian and now you're like, actually, to be honest, I wouldn't say that God's a part of my day-to-day life, but actually, do you know what? I'd like to give it another shot. If you head over on our Instagram kind of highlights, and there's a little button that says follow Jesus, and we've just got a short video for you to watch. Awesome. But now to wrap up, Stuart, would you pray with us to finish?
Yeah. So I'll pray, and then we'll also let you know about what's coming up in the rest of the week, so then just stick around for just a minute.
Yeah.
So we just want to thank you for this great relationship kind of conversation we've had. We thank you for the questions which have been thrown in. Actually, we always kind of get to test ourselves a little bit of actually how well do we know you.
Yeah.
And thank you for being along on this journey with us. Actually, we pray for peace over this whole world and this really trying time with the coronavirus. Actually, we pray that there are miracles which will still happen, that this virus will be wiped off the face of this earth in whatever capacity that looks like. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Cool. So on Sunday after the 10:30 service, we are having our own Zoom hangout, which you can come join us with.
Woo!
Just drop Fearless Instagram, just a DM saying actually, I'd love to be there. It's probably when does the service finish?
It's about 11:30, so be straight after the service.
Yeah, roughly 11:30, and then we will be here. Some Fearless leaders will just have fun, chat, hang out, laugh. Might have a game. I don't know. We haven't worked that part out. There's also Fearless in the Lounge on Tuesday, where similarly you guys can come hang out in a Zoom call with us. We can play a game, chat about Jesus some more. So again, drop us a DM if you're interested in that. If you want to submit questions, the link is in our bio.
Yep.
All anonymous, so don't worry about asking something just too awkward. We are completely down for any question, probably.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
That's the main stuff.
Neat. Okay.
If
Okay,
you want to come
that's it.
Sunday, check us out. I think the link's somewhere
In the bio.
in the bio too.
Sweet. That's it
Boom.
then.
So thank you for... Thanks for sticking with us.
I'm talking.
Go for it.
Lauren, do you want to wrap up? 'Cause
Okay, I'll wrap up because these two are doing terribly. Thanks for joining us, guys. I hope you all had a great time. Message us if you've got anything else to say. If you've got any, I don't know.
Sorry, I was distracted you. I'll stop.
If you've got any kind of things you want to say about tonight, any thoughts you had, drop us a message. Let us know. And I hope you all have a great week.
Awesome. Sweet.
I nearly said a great week at school.
Oh, no.
But you might be doing homeschool.
Have a great week in your homes. Bye.
Bye.